The sermon for today comes from a teaching from Luang Por Thoon, which says, whenever you think about something or make an assumption, you must think according to the truth, so that you do not end up overconfident or heedless. Now, the word heedless in Thai means ประมาท Overconfidence means เชื่อในตัวเองมากเกินไป. Now, what are some examples of this? Yesterday we had a group discussion and we had a lot of good examples of how to think and become heedless or overconfident. One person says he likes to text and drive. Why? Well, I've been doing it for like 10 years and I've never gotten in an accident, so it's probably pretty safe. Another person said, yeah, I heard about my friend. My friend likes to steal, but they probably won't steal from me. I mean, we're really good friends, we're best friends. I mean, they steal from other people, but they probably won't steal from me. Another person said, well, my dad always told me to study hard and get good grades so that when I graduate I can get a good job and my future will be protected. But he always thought, well, my dad's kind of famous, kind of rich, and kind of powerful. So after I graduate, most likely I'll just work for dad. Like I'll just work with dad and dad will take care of me. So I don't really have to study that hard. Now, this way of thinking is very common for people in our life, in our world, even for us. When we see something happen long enough, we tend to believe that this is the way it's going to be. If we keep texting and driving and no accident, then it's probably okay. If we yell at people and they don't yell back, then they probably don't mind, right? Or if we don't study and our dad's rich and powerful, then we should be fine. Or, she hasn't stole from me before, so she probably won't. We believe in our own assumptions, and sometimes we get lucky and it hasn't happened yet. But in this case, in all of these cases, something bad could happen. Like for example, the first case, the person who said this hasn't had anything bad yet, but for one of our own members, Mayo, she used to think the same way. She used to always be the driver, always wear a seatbelt, and always drive herself. However, one day, because of overconfidence, she decided that it's okay to sleep in the back seat and not wear a seatbelt. The very first time she decides to do this, she gets into a very, very dangerous car accident in which breaks her back and makes her handicapped for the rest of her life. Is it risky? Very. In another situation, the girl who says she had a friend who never stole from her, because her friend stole from so many people, she had nowhere to stay. Well, it's okay, we're good friends, come stay at my house. In the end, do you know what happened? That girl started stealing, and we didn't think that she would steal from us, and so we blamed the housekeeper. So the housekeeper got fired. And then she kept stealing, and then we found out that it was her, and we lost a whole bunch of things in the house. And so now the family doesn't trust us as the person who brought this person in, we're getting blamed and we feel bad. It's dangerous. Or in the last case, it's very sad. But the young man who didn't study very hard because his dad was so famous and powerful, he forgot one thing. His father died. After his father died, the power and the fame all disappeared. So now he has not so good grades and no father to back him up. Now, in all of these stories, it all comes from a simple concept of overconfidence. You don't think that these things will happen. You don't believe it and you don't want it. So you just tell yourself that it won't. But in reality, the truth of the world is that everything and anything is possible. It is possible to drink and drive and not get hurt. But it is also possible to drink and drive and get hurt really bad. It is possible to not study and get a good job and be rich anyway. But it's also possible to not study, have no job, have no future. It's possible that someone who's a thief and who likes to steal won't steal from you. It's possible. But it's also very possible that they will steal from you and they will hurt you. And these things can all have been prevented. They can all have not necessarily happened had you just thought according to the truth. Seen that all things are possible, so be careful. Be more careful. You can bring that girl into the house. But be careful when you watch where she stays and what she looks at or what she's close to. You can do certain things, but you must be careful and understand the risk that will follow. This is what it means when you say, make assumptions, but make assumptions according to the truth, and for the purpose of not becoming overconfident or heedless. Now in Thai, this is what it's called to แก้หรือชนะความประมาท. It's very dangerous. And this is the reason that leads bad things into people's lives, because we are overconfident and heedless.